Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And this is my second time recording this. First time had no audio. LOL. What are you going to do? What we're going to do is we're going to give you 5 decks today, including the deck I hit Infinite with and what will be my day 1 Malekith home. Before we get there, though, we've got this awesome deck from Splat. We've never really featured Splat before. I think we featured one Splat deck, a giant combo deck, because giant weird combo decks are what Splat makes. I'm going to, before we go to the turn by turn, immediately tell you what the really cool thing about this deck is. It's that if you get the curve right, you can go Black Swan into War Machine and Black Swan into Symbiote Spider-Man into Infinite, but then when you trigger Swan, you can put that symbiote on that Human Torch, and you can get with Iron Fist and Ghost Spider like a 36 power Human Torch to go with your 20 power Infinite and a crazy amount of power. It's absolutely insane. You should be able to fairly often just target that Human Torch with that Symbiote Spider-Man, or target a dagger as the case may be with that Symbiote Spider-Man, and turn them along with Infinite into absolute lane-winning threats. This deck is a blast, and you can watch Splat play it at twitch.tv/Splaticus if you are so inclined. This deck needs Symbiote Spider-Man, War Machine, and Black Swan. All 3 of those cards are required. Aranya and Ghost Spider are extremely important because they're the 1-drops in the deck that work with they're the 1-drops in the deck that work really well with Black Swan in order to get your move stuff going. Although obviously you'll have to play Aranya earlier because you can't play her and activate her on the same turn. That means for Aranya you can try Cloak. It's worse, like way worse, and really, really harder to use, but you can try Cloak in that spot if you are so inclined. Hydra Rob is in no way a requirement. I would replace it with Rocket first and foremost, but Angela and Bishop are fine as well. Splat had a 62% win rate in 61 games with this thus far at high Infinite. Splat is fundamentally a mad genius. He's one of those deck builders that always has something completely wild and completely interesting to play, and a 62% win rate in 61 games in high Infinite is nothing to sneeze at. So here we go. Turn 1, Aranya overpass. Turn 2, Swan over Aranya. Turn 3, Swan. Get the idea? Swan's important. Turn 4, Swan. If not, War Machine over Symbiote. If you can't Swan by turn 4, now it's no more Swan. So War Machine over Symbiote on turn 4. If you can on turn 5, you play War Machine. You play Symbiote if you have War Machine on 4 on turn 5, just fine. If you don't have it, you're just passing, as long as you have Black Swan out for the free Infinite. If you have War Machine on 4, you can also set up Dagger to start getting ready to move. You can play like an Aranya into Dagger or a Iron Fist into Dagger here at this point and get ready for one last Dagger pull with the free Ghost Spider as well. Turn 6 is Infinite and the move combos for Torch with all the ones. If you can get Torch moving multiple times, he's going to be big enough to win a lane. If you can get Torch moving multiple times with a Symbiote Spider-Man, he's one of the biggest things in the game. Cool. This list is absolutely insane. We're going to talk about my Infinite deck right after it. But first, one last look at this. I took a look at this deck like a week ago, and I could not figure it out. And then I played it, and I was like, oh, that's silly. It's so strong. If you got that War Machine and you got the Black Swan, you can just play, even with just Hydra Bob and Ebony Maw, you're playing 32 power on the last turn of the game. Good luck to your opponents. Just good luck to your opponents. This deck is awesome. Play it, win cubes with it, enjoy. Speaking of enjoying, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that sub button as we try to hit 16,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. We've got about a month and a half left to get there. I don't know if we're going to make it, but fingers crossed, with your support, we can get there. In return, we're going to give you at least 8 videos this week, maybe 9, at least 4 decks in every video. You'll note there's 5 in today's. We give you more Marvel Snap content than anyone in the entire game. So if you're willing to hit that sub button and support us, we'd greatly appreciate it. We're also giving away a season pass, a Tuccrr season pass this week. All you have to do is sub and like, and then later on this video, you will leave a comment. I'll ask a specific question. You'll leave a comment. That comment enters you to win the Tuccrr Season Pass. Cool? All right. This is the deck I hit Infinite with. I did this on stream, so if you'd like to see that gameplay, feel free to check the video on demand right here on this YouTube. I was playing with Sizer on Saturday, and we decided to cycle through decks. Any deck that had 2 losses would immediately disappear. The majority of my climb was done with the move bounce list that we featured 2 days in a row last week. It was in last Wednesday and Thursday's list, but from about 95 to 100 was this Tuccrr deck, sorry, this Surtur deck, was this Ajax deck. It's very strong. It's very consistent. It has a million ways to win. Um, you can use Luke Cage to win, or you can forego Luke Cage for a stupidly big Ajax that the opponent can't account for and win another lane with like US Agent and Man Thing. There's just a bajillion ways to do it. This list is so strong. Wiccan is a snap condition. The right anti-venom hit is a snap condition. Mobius is a snap condition against Scar. Shadow King, if you can feel like you can throw Prio. The right Valentina hit. You have a million snap conditions and a million ways to win. This deck is awesome. Also worth noting, Valentina is one of the cards in the spotlight this week. Is she required for this deck? No, not especially. So you can be Cable or Mirage without you losing too very much. You do need US Agent, Ajax, K Bishop, and Wiccan, and I am in the habit of reminding you that when you need specific cards for a list, some of them are very often Season Pass cards, so you could already have one of these cards, K Bishop, if you just buy the damn Season Pass. The last deck, right? That was like, well, this is hard to afford, except Symbiote Spider-Man is a Season Pass card, right? Ghost Spider is a Season Pass card. If you have Season Pass cards, you're so far ahead of the game as far as building these damn decks. All right, so you need US Agent, Ajax, K Bishop, and Wiccan. Man-Thing or Anti-Venom or Mobius can all be cut. You're going to have trouble with the Scar decks if you don't have Mobius, though, so fair warning. You're going to need something else in that spot. You can sort of beat them with like US Agent and Shadow King and stuff, but you might want to add like a Shang there. Red Guardian and Malekith are other replacements, and I want to talk more about Malekith in a minute, but I think Malekith is a really strong replacement. Man-Thing or Anti-Venom is how I would replace Malekith and Shang, and then we would go Red Guardian for Mobius probably. So Man-Thing hasn't been great in this meta. It's a good card, and like literally a meta go is one of the best cards in the game, but right now it's been just an okay card. It's often playing for 4/7, 4/11, but like, sorry, 4/9, 4/11, but it forces me to play Luke when I don't necessarily want to play Luke because I have a lot of lower cost stuff. I think Man Thing is great, don't get me wrong, but I think that this is not necessarily the perfect meta for that card. I'm planning on trying out Malekith in this spot tomorrow, and I'm going to explain why momentarily. It's going to, so the easy thing is it gives me the Wiccan out on 5 and makes up for my lost Quicksilver draw. So if I get a Wiccan on 5, then all of a sudden I'm still good to go with like an Ajax Hazmat, Ajax US Agent, Ajax Shadow King to end the game, which seems like it's really, really strong and really, really worth doing. I may cut Mobius. It seems like High Infinite has moved on from the Scar Idiots deck. So I'm ranked about 4 something now, 430, something in that area. I got up to like the 200s and then I fell to the 400s, playing while talking to my son, which is always a mistake. But whatever. I might make Mobius a different card. I'm trying to figure out what 3-drop I'd like Mobius to be. I'm leaning toward Ghost. I think Ghost would be really, really good in this deck. But it could be a lot of different cards in that particular spot. Am I too worried about Goliath for it to be Ghost? If so, that could be my Red Guardian spot. I could just add a Red Guardian, so on and so forth. We'll see. I'm going to probably replace Mobius, and then I'm going to take Man-Thing out and make Man-Thing be that specifically Malekith, because then my hits are, because Quicksilver will be on 1 no matter what, right? My hits are Hazmat, Shadow King, US Agent, Valentine is a bad hit, but fine, Luke, and then Red Guardian, and I know which of those I hit. My opponent does not. That gives me so much extra power that I think I have to try it out. Cool. That's where I'm going to go with this deck. So I went 5-1 from 97 to 100. Check the stream. I've been playing this in Infinite. I'm still winning in Infinite. This deck is legit. This is a legit tier 1 deck. Turn 1, you want Quicksilver. Turn 2, Kate if you need a 1. Valentina if you don't. Turn 3 is Mobius over Luke. Unless you have Anti-Venom in hand, then you can Luke first. Over a 2+1. Turn 4, if you can get Wiccan, you can get Wiccan and Snap. If not, you're playing Anti-Venom. Sometimes I Anti-Venom before Wiccan. I know that seems wild, but sometimes I do. Although Wiccan into Anti-Venom and Luke is an incredibly strong play, so is Wiccan into Man-Thing and Luke. I also plan to do some Wiccan into Malekith and Luke. You get the idea here. Turn 5 is Wiccan or Ajax. Sometimes it's Anti-Venom and another card. But Ajax is nice and simple here. Turn 6, Ajax and Hazmat, or US Agent or Shadow King, and then you just win. All right, so let's talk some Malekith after we take one last look. This is my infinite list. It's incredibly strong. Feel free to play it. You're going to farm almost all of those Surtur decks that are still plaguing the ladder on the way to infinite. If you need to add a Red Guardian or a Rogue because they're adding Luke Cage, feel free, but Mobius should do most of that job for you without any real problem. All right, Malekith is the new card coming out today. He's a 4/6 on reveal. Add a 1, 2, or 3 cost card from your deck here. It reveals at the end of the game. So people that don't like this card, I think, are fundamentally misunderstanding it. This is basically guaranteed to play as at least a 4/8 unless you build your deck very, very wrong. That's fine and all right, but I want you to understand how much work we have to do to draw a card, not put a card into play with Adam Warlock. Thinning your deck in Marvel Snap is extremely important. Draw in Marvel Snap is extremely rare. This is an extremely good way to get an extra card out of your deck so you can set up whatever combos you want, so you can do all the powerful things you would like to in the game. And thus, I think Malekith is going to be an absolutely stellar card, and it's going to be the second best card in Spotlights this month. I think Gore is likely the best card in Spotlights this month. I think Malekith is going to be a very, very strong buy that people are going to find decks for that we are not even seeing. I think most of the decks are Wiccan decks, so if you don't have Wiccan, you should probably be looking at this a bit askance. But if you do have Wiccan, I think this is going to be an amazing, amazing deck. I have one more major note though. You should not buy this card immediately unless you are absolutely swimming in resources. Here's the thing about Marvel Snap card evaluation. We're all often wrong. I don't know a single player, a single person who always gets this right. Since that's the case, since we always sometimes get this wrong, what I'm going to urge you to do is come back on Thursday's video. On Thursday's video, I'm going to ask a bunch of top Infinite Leaderboard players, usually about 10, what they think of Malekith. We're going to get their first impressions. Then on Friday, I'm going to take that, I'm going to dig into the stats, and then I'm going to give you a weekend mission recommendation. Then, once everyone plays it for all the weekend missions, I will be able to give you a final last chance review of this card. That's when you should either buy it or not buy it. When I give you that last chance review, but if you have to at least wait till Friday so that like you can make the most informed decision possible, lest I am wrong, lest other people are wrong. I think Malekith is going to be very good. Draw is extremely rare in Marvel Snap, and Malekith doesn't say draw. He actually says draw and put into play. This card is going to be good. Next up, we've got Valkentina, who is coming out as a Spotlight. This is the Valkentina variant, which I must have because I don't have a variant for this card. She is on reveal. Add a random 6 cost card to your hand. Give it -2 cost and -3 power. If your opponent has Mobius, this is often very bad. But you play her in decks that have Luke Cage, and thus you are getting just a 4/6 that is often game winning. Is she a required card? No. 2 Series 3 cards, Cable and Mirage, can almost always replace Valkentina. However, if you decide to get Malekith or the other card, Thena, which we'll talk about later, then you are perfectly happy to keep pulling for this card on your way there. Valkentina is good enough to own. She's not good enough to go out of your way to get. Buddy's Valkentina is the deck we're going to talk about. Buddy says this is a tier 1 absolute monster of a deck. I played it. I gave it a try. I agree when it sees Luke Cage. When it does not see Luke Cage, it's okay. It's very clunky. But if you can manage to get Luke Cage out relatively consistently, this deck is absolutely insanely strong. Part of the reason for that is Agent Venom, and part of the reason for that is Valkyrie herself. So you can find Buddy playing this deck at youtube.com/@BuddySnap. Please do go check out my friend Buddy and his amazing, amazing decks. This deck needs Mockingbird, Marvel Boy, and Kate Bishop. Agent Venom can be Bast. Please note Kate Bishop, Agent Venom, Season Pass cards. Valkentina can be Cable or Mirage. Mockingbird is important here. So turn 1, you want Squirrel Girl over Hood. Turn 2, Agent Venom is your key over Valkentina, which is more or less equal to Kate. And you choose between Valkentina and Kate based on what cost you need. If you need some 1s for Mockingbird, you play Kate. If you don't have the 4-drop at all, then you play Valkentina. Turn 3, if you've got 1s out, you play Marvel Boy. If not, you play Luke, especially if you have Agent Venom or Anti-Venom. And then you play Mobius. Mobius, I found I wasn't playing very often. Turn 4, you want Anti-Venom over a 3+1 or the Valkentina card. And then turn 5 is basically supposed to be a bunch of cheap stuff. This is where you want to drop your Mysterio. It's where you want to drop your 1-drops from Kate. Any extra stuff you have, you want to drop here, your Demon, so on. Then turn 6, Valkyrie and Mockingbird plus Demon. Valkyrie says, screw your Scar lane. Mockingbird and Demon are just tons of power. So friends, I don't know how else to say this. If you're struggling to hit Infinite and you have access to this deck, please play it. Take the time, learn it, play it in some proving grounds. You will absolutely destroy all the Surtur decks with this. This thinks the Surtur decks are cute and wrecks them. Between Mobius and Valkyrie, you have almost no problems with that matchup. Just go beat them. If you'd like to see gameplay from these decks outside of their creators, please check out the stream team. Today is Prashaun's day, so please check out Prashaun at 12 noon and Gregor2424 on his YouTube, which was just monetized, so check it out. Throw him a couple dollars while you're watching those videos. As those ads pop up, check out Gregor2424 playing yesterday's decks. All right, check out this Thena variant, y'all. I have a gold sparkle of the previous Spotlight Thena, and I don't know which I'm gonna play, but I must have this. Thena is a 2/0 after each turn plus 3 power if you played exactly 2 cards. Thena is often a meta card. Is she meta right now? She's good right now. She's never less than good. She's mostly good because Agent Venom gives her a nice 4 to start with, which is often a ton, right? Outside of that, does she have a ton of homes right now? No. But plus 3 is a lot. So this card will always come back to the meta. I think this is the Spotlight card, not the Spotlight new Spotlight card. I think this is the like previous card in Spotlights that you most want of all the cards this season. So if you're gonna open for like an older card and we have more information about older cards, I think Thena is the card to go for. I played this on stream and won 4 straight games. So if you want to see this, you can check the it's on Twitch, not YouTube, unfortunately. YouTube was being difficult and didn't want to stream, but you can check the VOD for the stream without any problem over on Twitch. Um, I played it at the end, and like I couldn't get people to stay. This list is so strong. I don't like. I love this list. It's one of my favorite lists in the game. Um, it's got more snap conditions than anything. Between Mobius in the right matchup, the Wiccan hits, Sandman, shit, you hit off Maria Hill, being able to Alioth, knowing that you could like they are not going to fill and you can magneto clog them. Like there's just a bajillion different ways to end up dominating with this list. I love this list. It is expensive though. You can find Desperate Jill, who's a master Marvel Snap player, at twitter.com/Zuzia with a bunch of numbers. Check those numbers out. This deck needs Kate, Alioth, Wiccan, Kitty, and Mobius. I don't know what to tell you. Sable can be Hydra Bob, ideally. Ant-Man and Iceman are fine. Thena can be Angela. Thena is better than Angela. When Thena is great, Thena is great. Angela has a higher floor, but a significantly lower ceiling. And Speed can be Red Guardian, Luke, Nocturne. Pick a good 3 that is not Gladiator. You cannot play Gladiator into the 10s meta. Speed is really hard to replace, I'm not going to lie. He's just really big in this list. All right, so I was 80% with this last season. This season so far, my win rate with this is completely dumb. Just play this list. You won't be sad. Turn 1, Sable over Maria Hill over Kitty, unless you have no 2, in which case please play Maria Hill. Turn 2 is Kate if you can go 2+1 on the next turn over Thena with the Maria Hill card. Turn 3, Mobius over Speed over 2+1. Turn 4 is Wiccan over 3+1. Turn 5, Sandman over 3+2. Turn 6, Magneto or Alioth. It's fairly simple to play this list. The big trick here is that Mobius says your Sandman doesn't affect you. Your opponent will be stuck on the last turn of the game, having a very difficult time, while you just get to do whatever the hell you want. If you can go Wiccan into like Sandman Kate, right? If you go Mobius into Wiccan into Sandman Kate, you're just so far ahead. So far ahead. The opponent will have trouble beating you. Enjoy your cubes, friend. All right. Season Pass question. What quality of life feature would you like from this patch? What data mine hopes do you have? If the patch is out by the time you watch this, what'd you think of it? Next up, we have Owl God's Frigga Evo. This is our last deck of the day. I think this one's just really cool. Owl God is a major deck builder from Korea, I believe, who has some of the coolest brews in the game. And this is our cheap deck because I do try and keep our lower series player, our early series 3 players in mind. All you need for this list is high Evo. This list can still compete into the meta right now. You can find Owl at twitter.com/owl_snap. Frigga is great here, but Frigga can just be Cassandra Nova. It could just be a thing. You can replace Frigga with kind of whatever you want. So turn 1, you want Sunspot over Misty. Turn 2, you want Scorpion over a 1 over Armor. Turn 3, if you didn't play Scorpion, please play Scorpion, especially if you're pre-infinite. If not, Cyclops is better than a 1 or an Armor. Turn 4, Cyclops is better than Frigga, it's better than Magic. Turn 5, Magic is better than a 4 or Pass. Feel free to Frigga Cyclops, by the way. You don't really want to Frigga anything else. You can also Frigga Abomination. Cool. All right. Turn 6, Abomination and She-Hulk or Pass. Sometimes it's Abomination and Frigga. And then turn 7 will be Abomination, She-Hulk, Hulk. If you've got that second Abomination and Hulk, second Abomination and She-Hulk. And then you win because you're putting up way too much power for most opponents to beat you. You'll note Rogue doesn't really appear in the turn by turn. You play her when there's an ongoing you need to take away to win. Yeah, everything else is relatively simple here. Scorpion usually gets your Abomination cheap enough to win, especially when combined with Cyclops. And if you've got a free Abomination that you can play with a Frigga, you've now got 18 power for like 2 energy. And then you win, because like just tons, tons, tons of power to this one. It's got a lot of beef. Enjoy all the green from Owl God's Frigga Evo. Questions of the day. So our first question is Bear Mode asks what decks I love but don't compete right now. And so I have always loved Darkhawk decks, especially like the Darkhawk Stature decks. They don't have enough power to really be anything in the meta right now, but I absolutely love those lists. They've slowly dismantled one of my favorite decks ever, and I'm sad to see it gone. I did love Thanos, especially old Thanos Bounce. However, caveat, when Thanos was good, it was too good, so I understand and don't necessarily want that back. Drive Stort asks what my wife cooks that I really look forward to. I mean, kind of everything. She makes some of the best rice and chicken in the world. She just sort of stands at the oven and cooks with her heart, and it's always amazing. Um, she makes amazing eggplant. We have that fairly rarely, which I wish we had more. Basically, everything she cooks is absolutely through the roof amazing. She's gifted, so I'm very, very lucky for numerous reasons, but that is certainly one. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with on-air thanks. And friends, this is the second time I did it, and I want to go to bed, so I'm going to fly. Abby, some Editor, Bernard, regardless, David Wingfield, Dirty Casual, Danton, welcome Danton, LAB, FaThorNewman, Good Dog Gamer, Inc., Iron Frostman, Jane Everett, Thinking Poker, Prime, Ryan, Ryanberg, Ryan Wood, Character Lee, Quarry, Black Dahlia, Pyrofrost, The Goat Seeker, Archangel, 3K, Hallowed, Quid Pro Joe, Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the James Zone, Rups over the Beza, Black Jeebus 23, Exorcy, and Skippy G, and Jessica Gamble, Tommy Deckers 217 the League Season 1, King of Bros, Great Kazoo, Kevsey Hoda, Ludacris, Corbin, John Q, Jim McHugh, Q-Town, Clam, Colonel Forbin, 8th, Siege, Mod Supreme Models, Green, Goblin, Unibot, Flan, 56, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Nate Martin, Jason B, The Fuzzy Donuts, Veterans, Hoot, Matt H, DJ Mikey Jenks, thank you so much for the gifted. No Frickin' Flex, Oculars, Craig Sterry, BG, Zodrax, the King Canada, Demnet Falcon, Jonesy, Two Ties, the Great Lord does, the Parking Tuccrr, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for. Hey, friends, I'm going to bed. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. Thank you for the support. Check tomorrow's video. Don't forget, why are we on a random slide here? That's not the slide we're on. I am on a random slide instead of the last slide. I must have pressed a button. Don't care. Good night.